to be followed when allegations of contempt or breach of privilege are raised. It falls to the Speaker, in the first instance, to determine whether the facts disclosed in the complaint established a prima facie case warranting referral to the committee. Members recall that I deferred my ruling to the next day, and that was to be Wednesday, 12 November 2025. However, the pressures of business on the order paper made it impossible to deliver the ruling on that day. I am now in a position to do so. In considering this matter, I have reflected carefully on the facts alleged, the standing orders, and the relevant constitutional and statutory provisions governing 1, the authority of Parliament, 2, the binding force of parliamentary resolutions, and 3, the scope of Parliament's contempt jurisdiction. What is the nature and effect of a resolution of Parliament? Honourable members, a resolution of Parliament is a formal act through which the House expresses its collective will on a matter properly before it. Once adopted, a resolution becomes a binding decision of the House until it is rescinded, suspended, or varied in accordance with the standing orders of the House. A resolution, therefore, has continuing effect, and the Speaker, as the presiding authority, is bound to give effect to it. While the Speaker may clarify the scope or meaning of a resolution, he cannot amend, modify, or disregard it unilaterally. Honourable members, this principle reflects the doctrine of collective responsibility. When Parliament speaks through a resolution, that decision binds all members, irrespective of political affiliation, leadership status, or personal opinion. As Eskime reminds us, and I quote Eskime, the dignity of Parliament depends upon the observation of its rules, and the authority of Parliament depends upon their enforcement, unquote. This is the foundation upon which parliamentary collective responsibility rests. So what is the power and scope of Parliament's contempt jurisdiction? Contempt of Parliament refers to any act or omission that obstructs, impedes, or undermines Parliament in the performance of its functions, or which affronts its dignity, or tends either directly or indirectly to obstruct, impede, undermine Parliament in the performance of its functions, or affront the dignity of Parliament. Parliament's power to address contempt is inherent in its constitutional status as a coordinate arm of government and is expressly recognized under Article 122 of the Constitution, Order 30 of the Standing Orders, and Section 26 of the Parliament Act 1965, Act 300. Honourable members, the jurisdiction to sanction contempt is not limited to acts committed within the chamber. The relevant test is whether the conduct, wherever it occurs, has a direct tendency to obstruct, diminish, or bring Parliament into disrepute or ridicule. Parliament may therefore exercise its contempt jurisdiction over conduct occurring outside the presence of the House, where such conduct undermines the institution's authority or impairs its ability to give effect to its decisions. Honorable members, I note that the specific instances of contempt listed in the standing orders, such as disorderly behavior, deceit, or disobedience of an order issued by the presiding officer, do not expressly identify non-compliance with or disregard of a resolution as a distinct ground of contempt. A resolution, as earlier observed, is a decision of Parliament, not an order of the Speaker. There is therefore no express provision making its breach a stand-alone category of contempt. However, Section 26 of Act 300 makes clear that the enumeration of contempt grounds is not exhaustive. Parliament retains the right to treat as contempt any act that impedes its functions or affronts its dignity. Order 31A similarly contemplates conduct, whether specific or general, that brings Parliament into disrepute or undermines its institutional authority. It is within this broader category that the present allegation must be assessed. Honorable members, it is useful to consider what constitutes an affront to the dignity or authority of Parliament. Orders 30C and 31 prove directly or indirectly brings Parliament into disrepute or which undermines its authority, reputation, or dignity may amount to contempt. These capture behavior that, while not obstructing proceedings, undermines Parliament's standing, coherence, or credibility. An affront to the dignity or authority of Parliament may arise where a member's conduct A. challenges or disregards a valid act or decision of the House. B. diminishes the institutional authority of Parliament or the Speaker. C. undermines public confidence in the discipline, unity, or dignity of Parliament. Or D. brings Parliament into disrepute before state organs or external bodies. Unlike other specific grounds of contempt set out in the standing orders, this category focuses not on the place where the act occurred, but on its effect. Conduct that conveys the impression that Parliament's decision may be ignored without consequence qualify as an affront to dignity, even if committed outside the presence of the House. Democratic experience across the world teaches that institutions endure not by their formal design alone, but by the conduct of those entrusted with them. The strength of this House, therefore, rests not merely in its constitutional design, but in the consistent respect members accord to its decisions and processes. Honorable members, having reviewed the complaint, the standing orders, and the governing principles, I am satisfied that the matter raised prima facie implicates the dignity and institutional integrity of this House. Pursuant to Order 34.1, I therefore refer the matter, the complaint lodged by the Honorable Member for Bawku Central and a majority leader to the Committee on Privileges and Immunities for examination, inquiry, investigation, and report to the House. The committee is directed to 1. ascertain the relevant facts giving rise to the complaint, including the actions taken by the House and by the Honorable Member concerned. 2, review those actions taken within the framework of our standing orders and the applicable protocols of the ECOWAS Parliament. 3, determine whether the conduct, if established, constitutes contempt of Parliament or a breach of privilege under Orders 30 and 31A. And 4, make appropriate recommendations to the House for its consideration. In conclusion, honorable members, whatever our political differences, the authority of Parliament rests on a shared commitment to respect its decisions and uphold the integrity of its processes. Allegations that a member has disregarded a decision of this House must therefore be examined with fairness, constitutional fidelity, and a clear regard for the institutional independence of Parliament. I urge the committee to discharge its mandate with diligence, impartiality, and decorum, ensuring that all parties are given a fair hearing. Until the committee completes its inquiry and responds to the House, and reports to the House, I advise honorable members to refrain from public commentary on this matter in order to preserve the dignity and unity of this august House. I thank all of you for your attention, and I pray that discipline will prevail in this matter. Thank you so much. Honorable members, we now take item 5. Correction of votes and proceedings and official report. Honorable members, we'll start with the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 26th November 2025. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 7.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, sorry, I was on my feet at page 7. Item 5D. Speaker, I humbly propose that we insert the word "of" after "peoples," so that it stands as staff and peoples of. No. D. What I have here is not. Yes, D. D, as in dog. Yes. Delta, sorry. Staff and peoples off. So if you could insert the word off. Thank you.
Yes, table office, take note of that. That actually is page 8, not page 7. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I was present, but I've been marked absent. Page 1.
Page
1.
Page 1.
1, yeah.
You see,
My name's supposed to be in page 1, but I have seen it at page 7, the absentees page.
What is your name?
George Kwame Abuaji.
George
Kwame Abuaji. Abuaji George Kwame.
Abuaji George Kwame.
Yeah.
Asine Manso across all constituency.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You see, when we were at 1, you were absent. When we were at page 1, you were
supposed
absent.
to be at page 1.
You were absent.
No, I was present.
So how come you didn't see it?
I just saw it.
Table office, kindly cross-check your records, and if what he says is true, capture him as present. Page 9. Oh, sorry. Yes. Is it page 8?
Page 7, Right Honorable Speaker. I have inadvertently been added to the list of those who were absent yesterday, but I was conspicuously here from beginning to the end yesterday. Number 11, Dixon Chireduya.
How do you know it was inadvertence?
Because I was here from beginning to the end, so I assume it was a mistake. Page 7.
So if the records don't show that you were here, he's always punctual. You are getting some false witnesses.
Mr. Speaker, I've always been very punctual and diligent in this house.
Yes, honorable member, today, for example, you are not punctual. So if they say you are always punctual, I sit here, I count the numbers, and then I take time for you to show up before I start even opening prayer. And so I know those who are punctual and those who are not punctual. Today, you were not punctual.
Mr. Speaker, I was here until 12:30 when proceedings were not starting. I ran to the hearing of the Youth and Sports Committee budget hearing. So I was here even before. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I've always been very punctual, except that when you came in, I had dashed to the committee hearing. But when I saw you were in, I rushed back. Thank you.
Well, you don't know when we started today, the time we started today.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I was monitoring. So the moment you came in,
The question is, you don't know the time we started today.
At the time of saying the prayer, I was in, Mr. Speaker.
I said, you don't know the time we started today.
Mr. Speaker, no, I didn't check.
That's sufficient. Table office, please cross-check your records.
Thank you, Right Honorable
and do
Speaker.
the right thing. Page 10. Page 10. Yes, please.
Speaker, with respect, I think I have an observation on page 9, item 10, the last but one line. If we could insert Speaker after Honorable Second Deputy. Thank you.
Yes, table office, the part in italics. Insert after Deputy Speaker. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 22nd sitting dated Wednesday, 26th November 2025, as corrected, are adopted as the true record of proceedings. Are we ready for urgent questions? Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, that is so. The minister is here. Sorry.
Honorable members, we take item 6, urgent questions.
Mr. Speaker, a further arrangement is that we are praying you to limit the supplementary questions to 1, so we can have enough time to take a lot of the questions.
Honorable members, before I go on, let me acknowledge the presence Honorable members, we could go on with the urgent questions while some things are sorted out. So, item 6A. The urgent question stands in the name of Mr. Patrick Yabuama, Member of Parliament for Okaukwe Central. Honorable member, you may ask your question now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Education what measures the ministry is implementing to finance the upcoming end of academic year examination in public basic schools and prevent the charging of exams fees. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to respond to the question on the financing of end of academic year exams and preventing charging of exam fees by persons, as was asked by the Honorable Patrick Buama. And Mr. Speaker, to put it in context, examination is assessment and is within the remit of the West Africa Examination Council. And Mr. Speaker, we recognize the right of every child and person to have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities and with a view to achieving the full realization of that right, we are reminded that basic education remains free, compulsory, and available to all. It's regrettable that since the implementation of the 1992 Constitution, 30 years on, Ghana has not been able to attain free, compulsory, universal basic education. We would need the support of this House to ensure that every Ghanaian child gets educated so that our national literacy rate can improve. Korea today is boasting of a national literacy population of 98%. Ghana is still around 78% with wide disparities. Mr. Speaker, government pays this through the capitation grant, which is used as a key instrument to actualize Article 25(1) of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, 72,765,850 have so far been disbursed as capitation grant for 2024-2025, benefiting some 6,154,953 learners across the country. Mr. Speaker, the capitation grant for the first term of 2025-2026 first term has been processed for release. Measures to address unauthorized charging of fees. The Director General of the GES have issued a directive banning all such charges, and circulars are being sent and regular reminders are being sent to all GS institutions. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Education and GS deploy monitoring teams for audit, inspection, and random.
Hello there, welcome back. This is Channel 1 Television, and I am Nanatufo Buate. You just saw the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, responding to some questions on the floor of Parliament. But the major, of course, situation in the House has to do with two different issues. One regarding the declaration of a High Court sitting in Tamale for a rerun, or an order for a rerun of the polls in there, in that constituency. There's been some contention regarding the legitimacy or validity of Matthew Nyindam holding himself as MP. Yesterday was a big issue in Parliament. Today, the Speaker has ruled on the matter, saying that it is premature to expel the Member of Parliament or to declare the seat vacant, because he has a number of days, of course, to respond to some of the issues, pending, of course, the stay of execution and the appeal, notices of appeal that he has already filed. Then there was the matter of contempt regarding between the majority leader and the minority leader. Mahama Yariga had reported the minority leader, Afenyo-Markin, to the Speaker for reference to the Privileges Committee over he appearing at the ECOWAS court in Nigeria, despite him being removed from the delegation or the representation of the Ghanaian Parliament at the ECOWAS Parliament. Mahama Yariga, majority leader, petitioned the Speaker to refer minority leader on a charge of contempt. The Speaker today has ruled and indeed referred Alexander Afenyo-Markin, the minority leader, to the Privileges Committee. We'll bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins here on Channel 1 TV, but for now, we return to normal programming.
Mum and Dad, if you're looking for safe, affordable entertainment for your little ones this festive season,